I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Florida. It's a little bit overcast today, so not quite as sunny as we would normally like this photo here. But we are sure to get some sun later, so it's going to be nice and warm today, hopefully. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. I know there's participants from all over the globe here today, so morning like it is in Florida or any time of the day. So before we get started with introductions, I wanted to make a note about the question and answer function with the webinar. When asking questions in the Q&A, which will be the primary way you'll ask your questions because we're not going to probably take any live questions, please include your name, your degree, and department. This will make sure that the appropriate person responds to your question because every department's policies are a little bit different and we want to make sure that you're getting the right information. Okay, to get started, we will do some introductions. We are very lucky to have and excited to have Dr. Melissa Svarntenoranat here with us. She's our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and I'll let her say a few words.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I've been here at UF for over 20 years. I'm always excited to be part of graduate recruitment events because graduate students are a major part of our research endeavors and our student population. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. And normally we would have Mike Nazareth here with us today running the show. Probably it's not usually me, to be honest. He is our director for recruitment. Unfortunately, he could not be here today, so hopefully I will be able to manage and perform as well as he would in his stead. So my name, if you don't know me, is Krista Smith. I'm the assistant director for graduate recruitment at the University of Florida in the College of Engineering. I've been here for about, actually it will be exactly 6 years on April 1st. That's when I started in 2020. So very glad to be with you here today and to go over everything that we think is great about UF and why you should come here. So that said, we have wonderful panelists here today to talk about their experiences with staff and students, the experts. So I will let them introduce themselves. There we go.
Good day, my name is Martine Angren, Director of F1 International Student Services, and I have worked here for 20 years this January.
I'm Pam Simon with Engineering Education. I'm our academic assistant and I handle all the admissions for our department. And I've actually been with UF for 27 years now.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hibbs. I'm also with Engineering Education and I work with our MS and ADS and AIS students as their academic advisor. And I've been with the university for just over 2 years now.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paula Hendricks. I'm the Academic Program Specialist for SC, which has the Civil, Coastal, and Environmental Engineering Sciences Department. Thinking about years, I've been with UF for 7 years this May.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Sharpshire, and I'm the Graduate Academic Advisor in the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. And I have been at UF now for 11 years.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
Sorry,
okay.
My name is Brittany Guerriere. I'm the MAE Graduate Admissions Advisor for Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and I will be representing our department today. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much for being here. Jeremy and Helen had another meeting to attend this morning, so I'm happy to be here and answer any questions. Thanks for coming.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tahara Franklin. I am an academic advisor for the Department of Material Science and Engineering and the Nuclear Engineering Program. I've been with UF for 10 years now.
Awesome. Thank you, Tahara. So as you can see, we have a wealth of knowledge here. Please ask all of your questions in the Q&A. In addition to all of our knowledgeable faculty and staff, we have students here to share their experiences with you, and I will let them introduce themselves too.
Hi, my name is Gaurav Basmit. I am second year PhD student and I'm doing my PhD in civil engineering.
Hi, I'm Pavan Karthik, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in computer science at UF, and I'm really excited to be here and share all my journey today. And you can ask me any question you want. I'm happy to help.
Hi, my name is Abdul, and I'm a second year PhD student, chemical engineering, and I'm glad to be here to answer all questions related to chemical engineering PhD in UF. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emily Gunger. I'm a third year PhD student in the nuclear engineering department, and I'm also the chair of the Engineering Graduate Student Council. So if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Hi everyone, my name is Dongyu. I'm a first year master's student in mechanical and aerospace engineering. I'm really happy to join this webinar today, and I hope I can share some helpful information about our university. Thank you.
Hey everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining with us. I'm Shivanesh Murthy. I'm a current master student in electrical and computer engineering program, started last fall. So happy to be here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Hey everyone, my name is Mrinal and I am a master's student in AI systems and I am in my second semester right now. Happy to be here and answer all of your questions.
Thank you, everyone. So as you can see, I mentioned that faculty and staff are the experts, and they are, but students are the real experts because they are living what you guys might be living in the next semester or two. So please ask your questions. Remember to let us know what department you're from so the right person can answer. And because our students are absolutely the experts, we're going to start off by hearing from them because I'm sure you have a bunch of questions and they would like to share what they think is great about UF with you. So we'll start with Emily.
Hi, thank you, Krista. So in my picture, you'll see a group of students. In this particular group is my friend and research group over in the nuclear engineering program. So this was actually after one of our friends became a PhD candidate. So part of your process as a PhD student to become a candidate is you need to do your oral defense, at least in the material science department and the nuclear engineering program. So this was a really big moment for us, and why this is important to me and why I think like I really wanted to talk about it is because when you think of UF, you think of research, but I was not expecting to find such camaraderie and friendship when I came here, because coming to a new university can be kind of scary. And I didn't know anybody in Gainesville, and I was a little, nervous to come here and to make friends, but really the research here is amazing. And I was able to find a really good friend group. And so we all really do support each other. So whenever we have something going on that's pretty major, we all try to be there just to, be support system and always be able to ask questions and stuff. So this is why this is important. And I really feel that here at UF, specifically in the material science engineering department, we all really come together and it's one big group effort to get everybody to the finish line.
Thank you so much. And we're going to mix in some informational slides with the student slides. So these are a couple of apartment complexes that are popular with graduate students and some information about on-campus housing and off-campus housing. I'm going to let Emily talk about her housing experience at UF and give you some advice if she has some.
Yeah, so there is a ton of housing options in the city of Gainesville. So Gainesville is huge and it is probably really just about the University of Florida. So that's one thing really good about the university is that you will definitely be able to find housing. And most likely it'll find you too, because you'll get tons of emails from in your UF email, and they'll email you about housing. So that's like one really good thing about Gainesville, is that you'll always be able to find somewhere to live. It just depends on, how close or how far you want to be. Um, what's also really cool is that UF has one of the, like, if you do like the stats there with the money, for how much you get paid, we have like one of the lower housing rates. So like you actually get to keep more of your stipend, so it doesn't actually have to go towards room and board, which is really amazing. So you have money besides just to eat ramen every week, which is, I think, great. So there's tons of options for on-campus and off-campus. I can't speak to on-campus housing because I've never been on-campus housing, but off-campus, me and my friends, we've lived kind of all over, and I haven't really heard any bad experiences. And I would share if I had, because we are a pretty honest friend group. So I haven't really heard anything too bad here. I've heard really good things about Stone Ridge though. So most of the housing options do have like pools and outside. So if that's something for Florida to think about.
Okay, thank you so much. Moving along, we're going to hear from Dongyu.
Yes, this photo was taken at Lake Walwork, which is one of my favorite places at UF. It's a recreational lake owned by the university, and students can enjoy outdoor activities like kayaking or sailing and other water sports there. It's also a great place to relax with your friends. Sometimes we play volleyball and hang out together, or have some barbecue parties in there. So I really like there because it's a nice place to enjoy nature and take a break from heavy studying. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Gaurav?
Oh, sorry. Hi. My experience in UF is very meaningful to me. Like when I joined the UF first, I came here as a master's student, but like then I got involved in research and I transferred my master's into PhD last summer. And aside my academics, like I enjoy watching football match. You can see the picture. I think this was the first match of Gator last year. Where like there are like thousands of people coming here, and the energy and school spirit on the games, they are really amazing, and I feel to be a proud of Gator community.
Thank you so much. Yeah, our football stadium is massive. I think it holds about like 90,000 people or something like that. It's actually right behind me outside my window, so we're right next to it. Okay, we're not.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm currently pursuing my master's in artificial intelligence systems, which is under engineering education. And I joined UF in fall of 2025. And what I love about this university is the balance between the technical opportunities and the fun experiences that I have had here. So studies are basically like project-based and hands-on, and there are so many ways to enjoy campus life too. Like there's like visiting the Bat House, Lake Warburg, La Chol Trade, and or participating or watching various student games. So one of my favorite places is the Stephen C. O'Connell Center, which is the basketball court area where major games for basketball happen, and it is also one of the places where we have career fairs every semester. So this is one of my favorite places, and I like how it's truly a hub of energy, opportunities, and meeting of the communities together.
Thank you. Yeah, there's lots of fun things going on at the O'Connell Center. Basketball, volleyball, women's gymnastics, which is very popular at UF. They just won the SEC championship, so shout out to those ladies. Moving on, we'll hear. Oh, I was going to have Mrinal talk about this slide too, other things that um, are happening around UF. Do you want to add anything about things you like to do in Gainesville outside of campus?
Yeah, so I am really a nature sort of person. So I like going on hikes, I like going on trails. I enjoy basketball events. I also have visited the museum, which is inside of the university, and there are like many restaurants and breweries around that you can just go on and have a chilling weekend. Uh, whether like whether the weather is like a bit cloudy or a bit sunny or it rains. So the weather is really awesome. I like it here. And it is very pleasant to uh, live inside Gainesville as an area.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely agree. There's lots of local restaurants, sports we talked about, obviously, a lot of nature things. There's bodies of water all over, big to small, and wherever you find a body of water, you're probably going to find an alligator living in there. You definitely will see them on campus. There's lots of arts happening in Gainesville, a live music scene, so lots of things to do. Pavan, would you like to?
Hi guys. So my experience at UF as a computer science graduate student has been, really exciting and rewarding. So the CS program specifically has given me a very strong platform to learn, to build my technical skills, and also to help me grow in a field that is constantly evolving, big trends like AI, cybersecurity, etc., etc. I've really enjoyed being in this environment so that I can challenge myself academically while also explore new ideas and opportunities on campus. So here, as you can see, one of my favorite places at UF is the Century Tower. So this area is very special and very lovely for me because it feels like the heart of the campus to me. It's very beautiful. It's very peaceful. At the same time, it has full of student energy. A lot of events go on here. It's the place where all the students meet at least one time of the day. So it always reminds me how special the UF experience is to me. So overall, UF has been a place where I have grown both academically and personally. So I'm really truly happy to be part of this Gator community. Welcome, guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, the Century Tower is definitely one of the most iconic landmarks of campus, I think. There's some other ones, lots of gator statues and other sculptures around campus, but definitely this is one of the most well-known and well-recognized ones. Pavan, would you like to also talk about IGSA for the Indian students that might be joining us today?
Yeah. So guys, talking about IGSA, IGSA is the Indian Graduate Student Association at UF. So IGSA is mainly responsible for holding up Indian events and also all the Desi events, I can say. So recently we had the biggest event of IGSA, which is Holi event. You can follow us on WhatsApp and on Instagram as well, where we are posting continuously about the events and upcoming places. So it's all about making the community get together and understand about how the life in United States, the abroad is basically. Yeah, it feels daunting to be in a community where you don't know anyone. So you have IGF, you have us. We can get together any time of the day, any time of the week, and have fun. So just please go on and join the group and join our Instagram, and you can get together. That's it.
Awesome, thank you. Abdul?
Hi, hello everyone, once again. Yeah, so it has been a great experience for me in UF, and one of my favorite has been seeing the alligator anytime I want, right? So luckily for me, this actually located near to my office. So whenever doing my research, then I got stressed and all that, I can just take a stroll out and just walk around and just see little alligators around, and it kind of calm my nerves, and it's a way to appreciate nature. It's a great experience for you to have this around your research area. So I think that's one of my favorite spots in UF. and I think everyone else would be happy to have similar experience too.
Thank you so much. And just in case anyone is wondering, alligators, yes, you will see them on campus, and while they are very intimidating looking, they're usually not aggressive. So as
Yeah.
long as, you just let them be, they will mind their own business and just watch them from afar. So on that note, outside of campus, Gainesville is not too far away from a lot of things that Florida is famous for, obviously. Theme parks, beaches. We have natural springs where the water is super clear and cool in the summertime. Even when it gets to be really hot and humid, that water stays nice and cool. So those are really popular spots to tube down a river or swim for local people and students during the hot summer months. There's the Kennedy Space Center, which is a couple hours south from here. I just went there last summer. It's very interesting. I hadn't been there since I was a kid, and it's definitely a lot different. Lots of museums, zoos, and aquariums, obviously, because we're so close to the ocean. St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest city in the United States. So that's about an hour and a half or so away from Gainesville. Really cool place to visit. Obviously very historical and a lot of historical markers there. There's an old fort there. A lot of cool things to see. Okay, Sivanesh, you want to go next?
Yeah. So hey everyone again. At the moment, I want to tell more about this. This is one of the building. It's very famous in UF. This is like Dr. J. Wayne Rights Union, simply called as Rights Union. This is the famous place, and for international students especially, like you don't know where to meet people, where to connect people. Apart from that, like academics, also, this is the right place to connect and connect with people. So yeah, this building encompasses of a lot. Like if you're hungry, you can find several options of restaurants like Starbucks if you want like a quick bites, coffee, or whatever it is. Like you can find a lot of options here, and this building like gives the way to access to the welcome center and the Gator one. That's a card, ID card. Before coming to the UF, you heard about it. You might hear about it. So this building gives the way access to it, and also the book center also there. And my experience here is literally amazing. So honestly, talking about this, it's a social heart of UF. So yeah, and so yeah, I forgot to tell you something. This is also how in like a gaming room. You can also this with the fun part. You can play a large amount of like variety of games there, and the esports center too. And yeah, uh, like the one thing you notice whenever you enter this building, there is always something happening there. So, like students going here and there, grabbing some foods and chat with friends. And, if you are stressed with assignment and deadlines, you just come here and sit something and watch people what they are doing. So, there are a lot of events happening there, and the student government and other club, in Europe there are a lot of hundreds of clubs there, so each of them every day there been usually a event happening there. So it's the right place for the international people to connect with people socially. You find their community there. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. Would you like to talk about International Student Appreciation Day? If you were there? I can do that.
Yeah.
So, we last November held International Student Appreciation Day, and I believe it was during the week of International Student Week. And it was just a really nice event where we brought together all of our College of Engineering international students, We had different types of food from different countries. We had musical performances from different student groups. Chinese Student Association group is a performance up there at the top right corner. IGSA, Indian students, performed as well. Students got up and talked about what they most loved about their home country. So it was a really fun experience, good to learn and network and get together to celebrate. Okay, switching gears a little bit, I'm gonna call on Dr. Sarntanoranat to talk about the different research foci in the college.
Thanks, Krista.
Mhm.
So we are the flagship university in the state of Florida, and we do have very strong infrastructure, very strong faculty. So we have about 265 tenure track faculty research active and have 133 million in research expenditures. So what that means is we do have, like I was saying before, very strong research infrastructure, state-of-the-art facilities, including, for example, HyperGator, which is going to be the fastest supercomputer in academics in the United States. And you can see, as a result of that kind of strong infrastructure, we're able to do things like have AI integrated across disciplines. So we have 15 different degree programs. And, as a student, you can take advantage of all the coursework, all the kind of like computing facilities and research infrastructure if you do research. Another strong aspect of UF is our interdisciplinary research. Because we are a huge land grant, sea grant university, we have basically all the majors, right? And not just in engineering, but in College of Medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, agriculture. And that allows us to do research that crosses traditional boundaries. And as a result, we have 20 different research like centers and institutes where you can see that kind of strong interdisciplinary aspect. So going from, I think if you go to the next slide, some of the kind of interdisciplinary research that's going on in the college from, strong kind of like water pollution remediation type, environmental research to the Semiconductor Institute that's in electrical engineering, but crosses disciplinaries across like material science and engineering and computer science. And then, human systems interface, which is between biomedical and also maybe mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. So for a lot of the problems that face society, it requires a, multidisciplinary approach. And we help provide students with that kind of background and the ability to work on problems that are at those phases. So thanks.
Thank you. All right, and even though our interim dean, Warren Dixon, could not be here with us in person, he does have a message for you that I'm going to play shortly. So just pause with me, bear with me for a second while I switch gears here.
Hi, I'm Warren Dixon, Interim Dean of the Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering at the University of Florida. I joined UF back in 2004 and have never looked back. At UF Engineering, we are proud to be competitive, yet supportive. We nurture future-ready engineers that industry, government, and research leaders seek. Here, you'll not only grow alongside like-minded peers and across disciplines, you'll also build long-lasting connections and skills that set you apart. And Gainesville, it's more than a university town. It's dynamic, it's welcoming, and full of opportunities, whether you love exploring nature, enjoying the arts, or cheering on the Gators. I've loved every moment of contributing to this vibrant community and mentoring the next generation. And I want to personally invite you to join us. Your journey starts here, and we can't wait to see the impact you'll make.
Okay, just to check in, is everybody seeing the slides? Yes, okay, perfect. All right. Going to build on what Dean Dixon was talking about in his video and just go over a few highlights about UF. We've talked a lot about what we think makes UF unique and the perfect place for you to pursue a graduate degree. But there's some other points we'd like to highlight as well. Mainly, we are one of the top 5 public universities in research expenditures. So Dean Sarntenoranant talked about College of Engineering has 1.33 billion, I believe, in research expenditures, and we're a big contributor to that total research expenditure number, which puts us in the top 5 for public universities. So we're really proud about that. We mentioned the HyperGator, the most powerful supercomputer in higher education right now. We produce a lot of new inventions annually that go to market. So we have a lot of startups, a lot of businesses, a lot of instruments coming out of the research that we do here in the College of Engineering. We also have a huge alumni network. So wherever you end up looking for employment or perhaps an internship along the way to your degree, likely there's going to be a UF alum in that place. So I highly encourage you to connect with people on LinkedIn if you end up joining UF and learn about the people that came before you and that are working in what you're interested in, because they will definitely be great resources for you. A few more highlights here that I'm just going to briefly go over for the sake of time. We're top 10 public university. That's one of our proudest achievements. We were ranked in the top 10 of new Ivies by Forbes. A couple of numerical statistics about UF as a whole. So we have just under 61,000 students, and of those, about 20,000 are graduate students. So quite a big chunk of those are students like you. And in UF, we have 14 colleges and or schools and over 5,000 faculty. And within the college, we mentioned a large footprint on campus. So we have several buildings, mostly in the central part of campus, some expanding southward towards the medical campus. Biomedical engineering and chemical engineering, namely, are down there. We have a little bit over 11,000 students total, and a little over 3,000 of those are graduate students. Listed here, you'll see all of our programs that we're offering, and just to highlight, we do have new programs starting in fall 26 in Jacksonville in computer science and engineering management. Those programs will be strictly based in Jacksonville, sorry. So if you're interested in those, they are currently taking applications, possibly still accepting applications for those. So please reach out if you have questions about those, and we will connect you with the appropriate people. And this chart here shows how our graduate students are spread among departments. So these are last fall's numbers. Hopefully these will increase with all of you that plan to join our graduate programs. Okay, I'm going to pause here to do a poll question, and it's a very simple one. We're going to ask you what your plans are. So at this point, are you planning on accepting your UF offer? Hopefully most of you are, but I know it's a big decision, so some of you might still be deciding. Just totally normal. Okay. Lots of responses coming through. Looks like Right now, it's a little bit split, so half and half between yes and still deciding. So no no's yet, which is great. Give this a couple more seconds for people to complete. Okay. Let's share the results of this poll really quickly. So as I mentioned, it is almost evenly split. A little bit more have decided to attend, so that's great. Look forward to seeing you in the fall. Okay, we'll switch gears here to ask our expert on all things international students, Martine Angrand from UFIC, to share with us.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy to see that so many of you have already made your decision to join UF, and we look forward to having you here. I'm mainly here to talk about the I-20. There are already some questions in the chat, so I will actually answer those 2 questions while we go through this part of the webinar. So the QR codes here will take you to our website where you can click on the different links for each of these topics. We're going to go over what mainly are the questions from this webinar. So please, I know engineering will share this webinar, this PowerPoint with the students. So you'll have these QR codes as well, since there will be quite a few of them. Next slide. So one of the main questions is how much proof of funds are needed to show for the I-20 application. If you are starting this year, that total is $59,394. If your department already submitted an I-20 request for you as an admitted student, then you should have already received those instructions. And depending on whether or not you receive the achievement award, you will show a slightly lesser amount. Some students have one amount of the achievement award or the other. So please pay attention for that specific amount listed in the instructions that you receive. Please note that this is for the first academic year of 12 months. We know that your program is more than 24 credits. By government requirements, we're simply required to ask you for the first academic year. This includes tuition, living expenses, and health insurance, some books, and obviously additionally the cost of transportation in general, if you're using like our bus system or perhaps some general transportation. So this includes the first academic year over 12 months for 24 credits, although your program is more. So for the I-20 application, after your department submits the I-20 request, we'll send you instructions via email. Please allow about 3 to 5 business days for those instructions to get to you as we are reviewing them as they come in. And you will get that at the same email address that you use to apply to UF. Please check your inbox and spam. A lot of times students say they didn't get it, and it will be in one of those folders. You have to use your GatorLink credentials to access the account, so please make sure that you also have created your GatorLink credentials. And then very important, with each part of the application, there are some save options, which will allow you to edit if needed. There are some submit options on individual questionnaires that if you click submit, it locks that questionnaire and you cannot edit. So we recommend that you click save on those questionnaires in case you need to come back and edit anything. Then at the very end, you're going to scroll back to the top and click on Submit Application. Until you click Submit Application, we will not have your application. Even if you submit individual questionnaires, you're only submitting the questionnaires internally to your application. And then once you're done, click Submit Application so that it can enter our queue. Your F1 advisor will review it, send you an email when it's ready, and you will be able to download it from the portal. Nothing will be mailed to you. Everything will be accessible electronically. Next slide. All right, so once you have your I-20, you're going to schedule your visa appointment and hopefully obtain your visa, and it will be at the consulates near you. Typically, you would apply in your home country. There are some countries that don't have consulates nearby, but if you scan that QR code, you will see for your home country what consulates you should be scheduling your visa appointment at. Then once you obtain your visa, of course, arriving to Gainesville, please make sure to keep everything on your person. Do not pack them in your luggage. And also just make digital copies just in case you do lose something. But as far as the I-20, you always have access to your I-20 provided you just log back into the portal and download it. And you can enter the US up to 30 days prior to the start of your program. So please make sure your flight is not prior to that. Next slide. To go backwards a little bit, you don't have to go back on the slide, but if you're already in the United States as an F1, for example, maybe you're obtaining your undergraduate degree from one school and you're coming to UF, you're going to need to still talk to your current school to do the transfer request so that they can transfer your CVIS record to UF. But even if they transfer, even after they transfer your CVIS record, you still have to do the UF I-20 so that we can then issue you an I-20 from UF. So your record doesn't just transfer and stay like that. You have to talk to your current school to ask them to transfer your record. You'll provide them a copy of your admission letter for their transfer out process, and then you'll complete our transfer in process as you complete your I-20 application as well. Okay. Once you submit the application, please be patient. We're asking that the earlier you apply, the sooner you can get it. And more students are applying for the I-20 somewhere after they've made their decision, and therefore there are more students in queue. So your I-20 could be issued in as little as 10 business days, and sometimes quite more than that, depending on how many students are in queue. So the earlier you submit, the better. Maintaining your F1 status requires full-time enrollment every fall, every spring. So if you're admitted in the summer, you're required to register that specific summer. But if you're not admitted in the summer, it's considered a vacation period. But otherwise, you must register every fall, every spring, and that's a minimum of 9 credits, of which 6 credits must be in a classroom. The other 3 can be online or in a classroom. And then what our students always want to know is whether or not they'll be able to work on campus. And yes, there are many job opportunities on campus, whether it's an assistantship or it is otherwise working at the bookstore, the Welcome Center, our Gator dining areas. You often will be able to find on-campus employment, and you are allowed to work up to 20 hours per week on campus without any need for extra authorization. And by on campus, that does mean specifically at and for UF. That does not mean remote employment. Opportunities to work off campus will be available after you have completed 1 full academic year, and you would need to apply for authorization to be eligible for that as well. And we provide many workshops throughout the spring and fall semesters, around 4 to 8 workshops, depending on different needs. And you'll be able to attend a workshop to learn more about your ability to work off campus at a later time. Next slide. So how do you reach us? These are QR codes for that information. Your F1 advisor is based on the first letter of your surname as listed in your passport. So if you scan that QR code in the middle, you'll land on our F1 advisors page. Our F1 advisors also have virtual office hours, and you'll be able to meet with them after you arrive and start attending at UF, attending the virtual office hours. The Contact Us is a form that, as long as you complete that form, it goes into our email bank, where anytime any of us can help, we will provide that response, or otherwise your advisor directly would be responding. So as a summary, please go ahead and visit our website for information regarding obtaining the F1 status, applying for the I-20, and moving through the processes to hopefully become a Gator here at UF. Looking forward to it. Next slide.
All right, thank you so much, Martine. Yes, we know that for international students, there's a lot of steps and a lot of hoops to jump through. So please reach out to your international student advisor if you have questions, and or your department staff. We are typically not the experts on all things visa and F1 status, but we will point you to the person who has the right answer. So thank you, Martine, for sharing all of that. Now I'm going to go through just a little bit of review because most of you, or all of you rather, have applied for these programs. So this should be a review for you, but for master's degrees, just a reminder that most of our master's programs are on campus. We do have some that are distance-based. Most of them are generally 1.5 to 2 years in length. It kind of depends on your program and what you end up doing. Some of them are coursework based, some are thesis based, some are project based. So it just depends in your department and what degree path you choose to pursue. Many master's students, at least in my experience, have found a way to pursue a PhD through starting as a master's student. So that is an option if that is something that you are considering. I would say if you're interested in that, make sure you let your graduate advisor know when you're thinking about pursuing that, because you will want to get a head start on some things to line up research-wise and find a doctoral advisor as soon as you can. So for this year's application cycle, we received a little bit over 2,000 applications in total for master's degrees. A little over 1,000, so a little over half were admitted. Some are still in process, so if you have not received an offer of admission, do not fret. We are likely still working on it. It takes a while sometimes for the Office of Admissions to process all of the applications and all of the recommendations for admissions that they receive from the departments. So I know it's almost the end of March, but it's not atypical for things to still be held up a little bit. You do not have to submit GRE scores. I'm sure you already know that by now since you've applied, but for this fall, we are anticipating between 500 and 700 for master's enrollment. Doctoral students, if there are any of you here on the call, I think, or on the webinar, I think there are some of you based on the registration list that I saw. If you are coming in as a bachelor's student, it will likely take you, I would say, at least 5 years, some maybe 4.5, but at least 5 years to complete your degree starting as a bachelor's student with the coursework that you'll have to take and the research that you will be doing. If you are coming in with a master's degree, you may be able to shorten that timeline somewhat because you might be able to transfer some of your coursework that you took as a master's student. But I have a big caveat when I mention this bullet point because it's highly dependent on your research progress. So no one can ever completely predict how research is going to go. That's kind of the nature of research, right? So it could take you less time. It could take 5 years, just like a regular student coming in with a bachelor's degree. If you are a current UF student and continuing on from a master's, usually, again, 3 to 4 years could be a shortened timeline. And for the total enrollment numbers, we're expecting this year in the fall about 175 to 200. If you've received an offer, I should say first, if you received an offer and have not accepted yet or submitted your decision, either way, whatever you decide, please make sure to do that by April 15th. That is the national decision deadline. You may also need to submit documents to your department directly, but everyone should remember, please, to submit your decision online as well. All right, now we're going to hear from some of our current graduate staff here today about what they think makes UF engineering unique, or what they think makes UF unique. Could be anything about Gainesville, about Florida, about on or off campus, whatever you guys decide and you would like to share. So Pam, we'll start with you.
Okay, couldn't find the unmute button. I just really enjoy working with the students here at UF, so that's why I've stayed here for as long as I have and in the role that I'm in. If any students have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here for any type of assistance that's needed.
Great, thank you. Lisa?
I've just really enjoyed being here at UF for the past few years. Working with these students has been very rewarding. And if there's anything that I can ever help our students out with, they just need to contact me, and I may not know the answer, but I will try to find where I can get the answer from and help them out that way.
Thank you. Unfortunately, Julissa from ECE couldn't be here with us this morning because she has a sick child at home. So we will move to Paula.
Sure. So SE is a very interdisciplinary school. And we do have our 3 programs and our 2 departments. So you will do half your program in your major, but the second half of your program, you can do it in one of our other, take coursework in one of our other programs if that's relevant for you and how you want to build your program of study. There's a lot of flexibility with how you could structure your program for yourself. And that's one of the benefits for graduate education. Gainesville in general, I have enjoyed. I actually did my undergrad and graduate study here as well. So if you are still deciding to come, we encourage you to do so, and we look forward to meeting you if you do decide to attend.
Thank you. Jordan?
So I think one of the best things about, I would say, the University of Florida is, yeah, just the kind of interdisciplinary nature of kind of the research enterprise and our degree programs, especially when it comes to engineering. Like our department, we have a number of new kind of like facilities, like our Cobod 3D printer that is kind of operated in conjunction between our department, but then also the Rinker School of Construction Management, which is in another college, as well as I believe it's manufacturing. So really, and then as far as Gainesville, I think the nature kind of draws our make it a really special place.
Yeah, Brittany, you're representing MAE, so we'll move to you next.
Hey everybody. Yeah, so I think what makes our program unique is just the, well, first thing that comes to mind is our wide diversity of research opportunities, and especially in MAE department, we have a large faculty list here, and we have around 60 faculty working, so you can really work with experts in all kinds of different areas and access some of the top facilities that we have on campus. In fact, in the last couple of years that I've been here, I've just seen so many research labs open up, and it's been really cool to see these new buildings and spaces be available to our students. So I know there's a lot of awesome opportunities to work with experts, whether you're in a PhD program and doing research directly in the lab, or maybe you're a master's student doing a thesis, or even just volunteering in research. But yeah, I would say that we have so many great opportunities here to work with experts and get hands-on experience in research, and you can really get into your niche area because our college in general collaborates so much between the departments. So even if you're in the MAE department, you have a lot of opportunities to still collaborate with other faculty and research areas in some of our other departments here in the College of Engineering. If you have any questions about research and research assistantships, please feel free to reach out to me. Our contact information is coming up on a future slide. And so you can always email me or schedule a virtual appointment. I'm happy to talk more about that.
Thank you. And last but not least, Ms. Tahara.
Hello, hello. Yeah, so I would echo basically what Brittany said. There's a lot of opportunities for research and collaboration within our material science and nuclear engineering programs, as well as across the College of Engineering, or even outside of the College of Engineering. One of the great things about us is that we have a nuclear reactor, which is something that very few universities have. And we're very student-centered. So we have a pantry, we have a coffee station, we do a lot of events for our students to make you feel appreciated. And we have an open door policy. So if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out.
All right, thank you so much. All right. So these should also be review slides for you, so I will go through them briefly. But the main idea from this slide is just to remind you that the cost of attending UF is much more economical than some of our peer programs. So the top chart, you can see that our tuition is much lower than quite a few of our peers. And relatedly, the cost of living in Gainesville is much lower compared to some other towns and cities where our peers reside. So Gainesville, I think Emily mentioned from the beginning, very affordable. Rent is cheaper. Cost of living overall is much less, especially than you might find, typical places that are expensive, like New York City, California locations. But you might be surprised that even places like University of North Carolina, Ann Arbor, Michigan, those are higher than Gainesville. So not big, huge towns either, but definitely the cost of living is more. So there is a website there that you can compare costs, and look at all of the graduate costs that are expected. Look at the tuition costs, and you can compare costs of living online. There's one of the websites that we provide down there, bestplaces.net. So I encourage you to, if you're still deciding, factor this into your research and check and see what you're up against compared to the other programs you are considering. At UF, we do offer some funding for master's students. Starting this fall, the Achievement Award is awarded to all non-campus Florida residents, non-Florida residents, excuse me. So it's $3,300 for 3 semesters and $1,100 per semester. If you have an offer letter that includes the amount of $4,500 total, that will be honored, but the amount has changed going forward. So just a note about the distance learning option. If you are in one of those programs, the tuition is discounted for these programs significantly, and the fees are discounted as well. So unfortunately, that program does not provide students with the Achievement Award. For PhD students, we typically provide 3 to 5 year fully funded assistantships that come with a tuition waiver, health insurance benefits, competitive stipend, which I believe is the minimum of $32,000. Many of them are closer to 35, closer to the NSF stipend rate. And those are renewed every year, just depending on satisfactory progress. Some other things that we think make UF very unique and beneficial for students is the way we connect students to potential employers and resources to find internships, to interview. I mentioned we have a wide alumni network, but we also on campus have a Career Connection Center, which twice a year has a huge career fair that packs the O'Connell Center, which, if you remember, is the basketball facility. So not a small space in there. 600 plus companies come in, interview our students, set up internships. And these are not unheard of companies. So these are very big companies. I'll show you some of the examples on the next slide, but in addition to the Career Center having the biannual career showcase, they also provide resources such as resume review, interview practicing. They provide professional wardrobe if that's something that you need. And even the individual departments, they have individual events and career opportunities geared towards their own students. So we really try very hard to make sure that our students are set up for success after graduation or during their program if they're completing an internship or while they're looking to find a job while still a student. As I mentioned, these are some of the examples of the companies that participate in the career fair. I won't name all of them here, but they're all very recognizable and big companies that employ a lot of our students. So If you end up being a student here, I definitely encourage you to take advantage of this resource, because nowhere else in the Southeast especially will you see all of these companies in one space at the same time. This slide, we're coming towards the end of our presentation. This is one of my favorite slides of the webinar, which is basically a summary slide of the University of Florida and everything that makes us a top research university, and a destination for students to pursue their dreams, really, and their career goals. So we have top-notch research and faculty doing groundbreaking things in the lab. Every day across campus, you're running into nationally and internationally known faculty. We work hard but play hard. So obviously we mentioned sports. Cheering on our sports teams is one of the things that we love to do here. We love to go to the beach. We love to relax and unwind. There's a huge community here of students that are here to support you, all culminating in what we hope will be a master's or doctoral degree from the University of Florida, which will open a lot of doors for you and set you up for a career, a lifelong career and success. So just to close, I wanted to mention a few resources. Some of you may be joining because you've heard from two of our students that spoke earlier today, Pavan and Dong Yoon. They've been reaching out to students, international students specifically, and they have WhatsApp groups. They've been reaching out via email. They've made some really cool videos if you'd like to take a look at those. And I've linked some of the Instagram posts and WhatsApp groups here, a campus tour video that Dong Yoon made. So I highly encourage you to check those out. And just, I didn't mention this earlier, but all of these slides we did record today, so all of the recordings and the slides will be posted online afterwards. So you do not have to worry about remembering all this information. You will be able to refer back to it later online. And some of this information is incomplete at this time because it's a little bit early still for orientation planning, but there are a few dates that we know of. The College of Engineering new PhD student welcome, for example, will be on August 19th. So most of you will want to be on campus by no later probably than the 16th. That's usually when appointments start and things start happening on campus even a few days before that. Engineering department orientations could start as early as August 10th. So be on the lookout for emails from your department graduate contacts on when those orientations will be and what days you need to be on campus, because a lot of those orientations will be in person. Not all, but a lot of them will. Classes begin on the 20th. And later on in the fall, the graduate student organizations and resource fair, will be held. And again, we will have another International Student Appreciation Day, one of my favorite events of the year, in mid-November. And as I think Brittany mentioned, this is all of our contact information for staff and faculty contacts in the graduate admissions space across the college. So feel free to reach out to me or Mike or your department specific contact if you have any additional questions. Hopefully we've answered most of your questions in the Q&A today or through the presentation, but I'm sure there's going to be things that pop up. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. With that, thank you so much for being here, and special thanks to our staff and students and faculty from across the college, and Martine from UFIC for being here this morning and sharing all of your information and expertise. I really appreciate it. Before we finally conclude, I just want to check in with the staff to see if there's anything we need to go over from the Q&A questions, anything we need to highlight again.
Hey, everybody. I would just like to chime in and encourage you. I know we've mentioned it a couple times, but just want to reiterate the importance of reaching out to your department, especially with questions around funding, because funding can operate differently in the different departments here in the College of Engineering. So, for example, our department, MAE, Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, we do encourage you to reach out to our faculty directly for graduate research assistantship opportunities. And I know there's a few other departments in our college that encourage you again to contact faculty directly via email. And then I know that there are a few that are strongly against it and they want you to only contact the Graduate Student Services Office and not reach out to faculty directly. So it's really important that you, contact us directly with your questions and find out the correct procedure for the department that you're entering. And just on that note, I will share that graduate research assistantships in our department typically go to our PhD students. Funding is an admission requirement for our PhD students. And there are a handful of master's students who receive graduate research assistantships. So I think it's still worth reaching out to faculty and making those connections. And you may not get the research assistantship for your very first semester, but it's a good idea to maybe start that process of getting in contact with faculty, maybe volunteering in their lab for your first semester, and see if there's opportunities to join as a research assistant in future. And so the funding can look different in different departments and throughout your program. We also strongly encourage you to apply to scholarships outside of the department because there's not a lot of funding opportunities for master's students. But yeah, like I said, just reiterating to reach out to each department for their procedures so that you're following, the appropriate path for the department that you're joining. And thanks again for being here. MAE's orientation will be online, so keep an eye on your email that outlines, your admission email will outline when orientation is held and how to access it. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any other questions. And congratulations, it's great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Brittany. Anyone else have anything they want to review? Okay, sounds like we're good. So again, thank you so much for attending. I wish you the best in your decision making if you're still deciding on what to do for your graduate program. If you're definitely coming to Florida, can't wait to see you in the fall. And as always, go Gators. Thank you, everybody.